So hi guys, today we're going to discuss about our beloved franchisee, Chennai Super Kings. There's lots to discuss actually. I'm going to make a lot more videos regarding them. There's lots of aspects to discuss as well. But however, today we'll keep it crisp and short because we'll have to talk about things that needs to be spoken at this point of time. When I say this point of time, there's mini auction and there's lots happening as well because this time we have a lot of relevant players, internationally relevant players, lots to discuss. Now, having said all these things, the most important aspect that we need to discuss here in this video is about what all went wrong last season, the loopholes, the Ruturaj Gaikwad captaincy, slightly controversial topic. Of course, I'm not going to be too critical on anyone. And along with that, about the most famous trade that happened with our Thalapathy Jadeja going to Rajasthan and Sanju coming to CSK. We'll discuss about all these things and the seventh topic that we'll be discussing today. The seventh topic, I don't think I'll have to tell you what the seventh topic is going to be about. So these are all the topics that we'll be talking today and hopefully you all like what I speak and you all perceive it the same way. When the news of Sir Ravindra Jadeja being traded to Rajasthan Royals along with Sam Curran and Sanju Samson coming to CSK broke out in the internet, there were a lot of mixed feelings, especially from CSK fans. The memories of that iconic May 30th midnight that was still fresh because we watched that video almost every day on social media and we have it in our personal gallery as well because that was the best night of our lives. April 2nd, 2011 was long ago. So a lot of us were hell-bent and criticizing our own management for taking a decision of leaving our own Thalapathy Sir Ravindra Jadeja to Rajasthan Royals. Now, emotions apart, okay? Even I'm an emotional person. If you would have asked me that can we trade Jadeja, I would say no as an emotional perspective. But talking analytically, talking logically, this trade is one of the best things that CSK have done, management has done to the franchise in the recent past. Why? If you look at CSK's weakness in the last 2 seasons or in the last 3-4 seasons, whenever we have qualified post our comeback, the top 3 have scored a hell lot of runs, the bulk of runs. If you look at 2018, we had Shane Watson and Ambati Rayudu scoring 1,200 runs in between them, almost. And then 2019, again, the openers were out of form, but the great man was in peak of his form and he almost single-handedly took us to the finals with his batting prowess. Of course, that traumatic night, we lost by 1 run, that's a different story. Now, coming to 2020, our first disaster season in the history of the franchisee, the openers, there was a lot of musical chairs. There was Ruturaj Gaikwad, initially started with Faf du Plessis and Shane Watson, again with Shane Watson and Murli Vijay. A lot of musical chairs, In one match, Sam Curran also came and opened. But that problem was resolved in the next season, where Ruturaj and Faf were given the batting opening pair responsibilities, and both of them scored a cumulative 1,300 runs. They were the top 2 highest run scorers in the entire tournament. That helped CSK to win the tournament even while having 2 retired players, Thala and Chinna Thala, in the team. Even though both of them were completely hell-bent on performing because of age factors and fatigue factors, still they ended up with the trophy because the top 2 along with Moeen Ali, top 3, scored the bulk of 1,600 runs. Now exactly next year in the IPL 2022, what happens? For the first time we saw a Desi opening pair for CSK. That's the first time ever in the history of the franchisee. 2 Indian openers were given the responsibility of opening the batting. It was Robin Uthappa and Ruturaj Gaikwad. This opening combination failed. Devon Conway later came back when MS came back to the leadership responsibilities, and Devon Conway scored 3 half centuries and CSK won 3 games at the end when they were almost out of the tournament. Now coming to 2023, the problem was sorted. Devon Conway and Ruturaj Gaikwad scored a cumulative of 1,300 runs, with Devon Conway winning the player of the match in the finals, quite similar to Mike Hussey, Matthew Hayden, Shane Watson, Faf du Plessis. The rich heritage of CSK's openers was carried forward by Devon Conway. Now what happened in 2024 is exactly the replica of 2022 and 2020. The opening musical chair began again. Rachin Ravindra, he sold us dreams and then he went last. We never found him. He was not scoring runs and then we replaced him with Rahane. Ruturaj was batting at number 3. Then Ruturaj and Rachin started opening and we never knew who our number 3 was. Since 2008 till 15, Suresh Raina was our number 3. 2018-19 again, Suresh Raina was number 3. Then we had Moeen Ali. Then we had Rahane. But last 2 seasons, we don't know who is our opening batters. We don't know who's going to come at number 3 and we don't know who's going to come when. And we don't even know when is MS coming out to bat. When is the great man coming out to bat? It was complete chaos. So what I want these guys to do, especially this season, as I've used the same word again and again and again, stop playing musical chairs with the opening slot and the number 3 slot. Fix these 1, 2 and 3 before going to the auction table, mini auction. You can buy Cameron Green, you can buy Bracewell, you can buy Venkatesh Iyer. We don't know, but whomever you buy before going to the auction 3, I personally suggest the top 3 should be Ayush Matre, Sanju Samson and Ruturaj Gaikwad. These 3 should be our top 3. Once again, we have to break the cliche created by our own team that 2 Desi openers haven't found success for CSK as openers. But this time, I have immense hope in Sanju Samson and Ayush Matre coming good and becoming that 1200 runs, cumulative 1200 runs scorer, or maybe even challenge the orange cap as well. So, Ruturaj, why I want him to play at number 3 is because he can hold the innings together, he can maneuver the spinners well, and he can play a long innings. It will give him time to settle down. In case if there's any swing, the openers would have negated it early, and he would have a chance to play that free-flowing knock. This is what I perceive. The other main issue or the other main reason why Ravindra Jadeja was traded off has to be something that has to do a lot with common sense. Now, why I say this is because, with due respect to Sir Ravindra Jadeja, I would say, I love you, Jadeja. We all love you. But we have to understand that in Big 2026 next year, 2 batters with the same weakness, MSD and Jadeja, cannot coexist in the same batting lineup. For a simple reason, if both of them are batting and if 40 is required of 4 overs, any sane opponent captain, it doesn't matter if he's a veteran or if he's a newcomer, they will store 2 overs of spin and attack them with spin in the last 4 overs. When both of them are busy with only milking with spin, the fast bowlers will have more runs to defend. They'll have much more cushion to try to get these 2 out. The similar things happens every time. Last 3 seasons, there hasn't been even a single successful chase for Chennai Super Kings when their 2 stalwarts, MSD and Jadeja, were there at the crease. You go back to 2023 Chepauk, Rajasthan Royals game, Sandeep Sharma defends the last over, MS was belting sixes, but those 3 overs where the spinners were in tandem, they were not able to get a lot of runs. Now coming to this season, the same mistakes kept on repeating. The game against Rajasthan Royals in Mullanpur, Mahesh Tikshana bowled an over where he gave away freebies with full tosses and both of them were not attacking. They had the same negative mindset where, okay, we are not going to take risk for the spinners, we are going to attack the fast bowlers. And the fast bowlers now, they are not the same what they were 5 or 10 years ago. The bowling coaches are also very, they're attentive to the weaknesses of the batters and then they're not going to bowl you dollies. Now coming to another game in the same season last year in Chinnaswamy, Ayush Matre and Jadeja have an iconic partnership. It is almost like it's a game where you're going to win it. But no, there was a spinner who bowled and they were just milking singles. So in spite of having an Ayush Matre performance, almost a century, we lost it because the weakness of both the batsmen is same. They cannot attack spinners at the death. And this is not something which has happened once or twice, it's happened a lot of time in the past. So if Jadeja has to play, he has to play at the top. And at the top, we cannot risk him because you need to have a solid top order batsman. So at this stage of his career, instead of getting more hate from us, instead of love, I felt it's a wise decision to sell him to another franchisee where they'll have separate roles for him. All the CSK fans, we need not worry that Jadeja is going somewhere else. No, he's not playing to any of our rival franchisees. Not like what happened with Deepak Chahar or with the Faf du Plessis. He's playing to a franchisee where we have rivalry with. No, he is playing to Rajasthan Royals, a team which most of us love. Again, I'm not talking about that incident. But I'm just telling, a team that is known to have a historic romance with Chennai Super Kings. And we'll have fun watching him play there. So let's support him and let's make sure that we respect this decision of parting ways with him and welcoming Sanju Samson, who has a bright future with us. So I'm going to talk about the captaincy of Ruturaj Gaikwad. This is actually seen as a taboo among our own fandom. There are certain players whom you just cannot hate, and Ruturaj happens to be the first place in that. For a simple reason, he's a very nice guy. He doesn't have this, the aggression that will initiate hatred. He's a very calm guy, quite similar to his guru, MS. And the other reason for not being harsh on him is that he is very consistent with the bat. He's someone who can give you that 500, 600 run season and also has a lot of clutch genes. He has performed well in the qualifier 1 of 21, 23 and also played cameos in 23 and 21 finals. Now, as a batsman, he does have three main weaknesses. First weakness is his inability to score when the target is beyond 180. This is widespread, everyone knows this. If it is a 180, 200 plus target, Ruturaj Gaikwad is seen, getting out maybe a duck or a single digit or at max a double digit, like say 10 to 15 score. This is a very alarming thing for most of us because he's been the captain of the side. You can't have a captain who's handicapped against big chases. Now, what is the psychological reason here? The psychological reason being he is sometimes too much pressurized, especially in the last two seasons, to take all the responsibility of himself while he's chasing big, which means the bowler has a chance to get his wicket very quickly. Now, having said this, it doesn't mean that the other batsmen are not very actively supporting him. If you look back at 2023 IPL finals, when Dewald Conway was the player of the match, Dewald Conway started attacking in the finals. He was the first person to step out and hit a six for Hardik Pandya over covers. And then Ruturaj was compensating with him. Now, Ruturaj's problem while chasing big totals is because he hasn't had a proper batting partner in the last two seasons.
The trait comes in very handy right here, as Sanju Samson is someone who has exceptional stats in chases over 180-200. Even though his average is in the 20s, his strike rate is 195. He can be that aggressor, and Ruturaj can take the anchoring role when we are chasing any total above 200.
And the other problem with his batting is that he has a slight weakness with the new ball against left-arm paces. Paces like Khalil Ahmed, paces like Trent Bolt have historically troubled him. But now, there is a slight tinkering in his batting technique. He is now batting well in the ODIs as well. The problem here is not with him having a technical weakness, it's just a mental blank. He needs to just understand that, okay, I am batting here. It doesn't mean that I'll have to make sure that I'll be there till the end. We have batters who can do the carry job along with me. There is Sanju Samson, there is Shivam Dube, there is Dewald Brevis. So he need not take the complete responsibility of himself and need not nudge those singles, or he need not play with that fear anymore, at least in the upcoming season. We have a lot of weapons with us and Ruturaj happens to be one of them. So he can take the attack to the opposition, kind of make sure that he can be a better finisher, or whether he wants to be the anchor or he wants to be the aggressor. The choice is now left to him. So the mental blank, what I was talking about, he's trying to be that person where he wants to be the main man. And that is in the team's favor as well. Because if Rutu fails, we fail. Even in the Mumbai Indians game last season at Chepauk, initially Deepak Chahar took the wicket of Rahul Tripathi and Ruturaj came in and scored a quick fire 50, which was our first win. And after that, we had to struggle for a lot of time because he was not getting runs and he got injured. So now he need not take all the pressure on himself. He has a lot of friends in the team like Sanju, etc., to share the responsibility. So now he can come out and get out in the second ball itself. That doesn't matter. So he'll be batting more freely with the arrival of Sanju. Now there's one more thing which actually pains me as a fan. I wouldn't say pain, I would say it traumatizes me as a fan. It's because of certain statements given by our skipper. First statement was after losing to Royal Challengers in 2024 final league match. Just scoring a small amount of runs would have made us qualify, but that was not the case. He came out and he spoke the most famous controversial line among our fandom. That is, we are happy with 7 wins. That beta mindset actually hurt a lot of us. A lot of Rutu admirers like me. We felt a lot of pain because we couldn't expect such kind of a meek statement coming from a player who is captaining a team that has won 7 trophies, 5 IPLs and 2 Champions League trophies. So a team that has won 7 titles, the captain of the team coming to the media and saying we are happy with 7 wins, that shattered our hopes seriously. And again this year, he came up with an even more atrocious statement saying we lost only by 50 runs. Now, that was ridiculous to be honest. I remember watching that match vaguely. I was not upset with the defeat because we knew that the team was not having the weapons to perform against big chases. The point was, he did not criticize himself. He did not criticize some of the decisions. He didn't criticize the fielding. But he told he's happy, or he felt satisfied because we lost by less than 50 runs. 50 runs is a massive margin even in one-day internationals. And in T20s, that's a humongous margin. And playing for your net run rate, playing for a game where you score runs after the match is lost, is a very negative mindset, and especially if it is your second league game. So all these things have had Ruturaj in a spot of bother with perspective of his own fans. We, as fans of the franchisee, as admirers of Ruturaj Gaikwad, somewhere down the lane we feel, okay, is he the guy or is he him? that kind of a mindset. We have these social media elevations like saying he is him. So when such statements are coming, we tend to start doubting ourselves, saying, is he him? Now again, only time will answer. I'm sure because he's 28, he'll be turning 29 in January. So we don't know whether he's telling those just for the sake of telling or his mind works different. We never know. But I would definitely want him to do well in the international arena. He's getting runs in the international cricket as well. And I would love to see him perform even more fluently in the coming days and make more runs in all formats of the game whenever he has got opportunities. He can become the Desi Michael Hussey as well, whose career flourished in the late 20s, early 30s. So yeah, that's it about our captain. Now I would like to talk about the most important player in our franchisee. No, it's not the great man. It's not Sanju Samson. It's not Ruturaj Gaikwad as well. So it's obviously going to be Dewald Brevis. I'm not saying this because he's my personal favorite, but there is a statistical and analytical thinking behind labeling him as the greatest player in the present franchisee. I know it's a very big compliment for him because a lot of other greats in the team. Firstly, if you look at the batters in this batting lineup, most of them are orthodox. There are certain regions where our batters have failed to hit sixes in the last 2 seasons. One such region is the cow corner, where peak MS used to smash a lot of sixes. That is something which only unorthodox batters can play. Along with that, we have also missed a player who can play the 360-degree shots. We have missed a player who can play the reverse sweep to a fast bowler, a player who can play a paddle sweep when 16 is required of 4 balls. We have missed a player who can confuse the bowler with his own technique. So Brevis ticks all these boxes. Now, there is a new fetish in town where a lot of batters with monstrous instinct, like peak MSD with long hair, Hardik Pandya when he first burst out of the screens, even someone like a Josh Butler of late. These guys perennially were hungry for scoring a lot of sixes. They were hell-bent on hitting those big ones, accessing all parts of the ground. But that fetish of becoming a finisher, wanting to be there till the end, has killed the killer instinct in them. So I don't want Dewald Brevis to take that route. Well, yes, MS did have a lot of success as a finisher, but that long-haired version was different. The present Dewald Brevis phenomena is the closest we've got to long-hair MS. He is not just hitting the balls, he is brutally murdering them. Like Harsha Bhogle once elevated MS, saying he's a murderer of slow bowling. Dewald Brevis today is a murderer of any kind of bowling. He plays with the straight bat. Until required, he doesn't use the cross bat. And secondly, he can hit monstrous sixes. He's not someone who's going to time the ball and hit. He's going to murder the bowling. So these will actually decrease that catches at the fielders, where a lot of CSK batsmen didn't have the power. That is being eliminated. Now, the other most important aspect is the going unsold in the auction and mid-season transfer prospect. The first player who comes to our mind is Christopher Henry Gayle, the great man. He joined Royal Challengers Bengaluru in 2011 as a replacement for injured Dirk Nannes, and the rest, as they say, is history. He won 2 orange caps in the next 3 seasons. His sixes record is still unmatched in the IPL in spite of him being not in the game for the last 4-5 years. So that is the kind of impact he created. Now, Dewald Brevis is ringing the same bells, quite similar to Doug Bollinger in CSK's history in 2010, who was also a replacement in the mid-season. So Dewald Brevis going unsold in the auction was a shocker for me because I expected either of Chennai Super Kings or the Sunrisers Hyderabad to buy him. I thought he was going to go for 10 to 12 crores. But then the auction dynamics, especially the mega auction dynamics, you will never know what these owners are thinking. So now Dewald Brevis coming to CSK has given us a moral boost that we don't have to get scared when there is a score like 22-3. We don't have to go into that test match mode. We don't have to go into that trying to play for pride mode. We can still win. We can still challenge. So yes, Dewald Brevis in the upcoming IPL season is going to be the #1 player for Chennai Super Kings if we have to compete, if we have to win, if we have to go all the way and claim the trophy. We need an all-timer season from the baby de Villiers, Dewald Brevis. At least a 500 runs with 180 strike rate kind of a season with 3 or 4 player of the match awards in between. So a lot of expectations on him, and I am sure that he is going to live up to it. We have spoken about almost everything. Of course, when you talk about Chennai Super Kings, you cannot conclude a video without including you know who. So now, coming to the MSD phenomena, we have to keep in mind that his larger-than-life image might not reflect in the team results accordingly. If you look at 2018-19, 2 seasons where the great man went into beast mode, he was hitting sixes at will, he was attacking spinners, and most importantly, he could win us games from impossible situations. In 2019, I remember he walked out to bat when the situation was 24 for 4, 27 for 3, 28 for 4. He saved us from that 49 all-out kind of embarrassing situations multiple times because he still had that cricket left in him. He still had entire body working. His knees were fresh, hand-eye coordination was still there, and most importantly, he was still internationally available. He was an international player back then. You cannot expect him to do what he was doing in his 30s because he's not an active cricketer. And having said that, he can still provide us results like how he provided in the last 3 seasons. This year, we won 4 games. I'm sorry, we won just 4 games. So in 4 games that we won, first game was against Mumbai Indians, where Surya Kumar Yadav lightning fast stumping that derailed the run flow of Mumbai Indians, and that was a turning point. He was directly influential in that particular game. And then the second game against Lucknow Super Giants in Ekana Stadium, he was the player of the match. We all remember that run out where he threw it from the keeper's end to the non-striker's end. That was iconic, and he was excellent in marshalling his troops in that game. And he walked into bat when 50 odd were required in 5 overs. The required rate was around 11. He scored a quick fire cameo, 26 of 9, if I can recall correctly. And then again comes the Kolkata game where he needed gardens. He took us over the line after a Brevis havoc. He was also excellent in behind the stumps in the same game. So out of the 4 games that we have won, he has had direct influence on 3 games. So I personally feel a lot of criticism on him that he faced in the last season from his own diehard cult, being that emotions took over our logics. You can't expect him to come out and whack right from ball one when a spinner is bowling. You will have to protect him. And having said that, this doesn't mean that we are going to pamper him or keep him only for aura farming. No, you need to give him that space where he can come and do the needful. Like if it is 50 required of 4 overs with 4 overs of fast bowling, he still has a chance. He will still do it even in his 70s. But you have to make sure that you don't send him in embarrassing situations. He is still an asset to this team and he can still perform provided you give him that exact space where he can come in and do what he's good at. Now, I wanted to discuss about the auctions. The reason why mini auctions are more crucial than mega auctions is because mega auction is kind of a future prospect where you look at 3 seasons, but mini auction is like that quick meal that you're going to have, like a quick snack, which is going to give you instant happiness. If you look at historically CSK's mini auction picks, they have created more impact than CSK's main auction picks. Ruturaj Gaikwad in the 2018 mini auctions, today he is the captain of the side. He's won the orange cap and 2 IPLs for us. In 2021 mini auction, we got Moeen Ali, who went on to win 2 trophies with us. In 2023 mini auctions, however, we bought the most hyped pick of all time in the IPL, Ben Stokes. But again, Ben Stokes couldn't perform much for us, whatever. But the same auction, we got a certain Ajinkya Rahane who started playing like Virendra Sehwag in that immediate next season. So that was another unpopular pick which turned out to be a beast. Historically, even in the 2011 mini auctions, had Ravindra Jadeja coming in as $1 million baby. So coming to the immediate next auction that's going to happen in a week's time, we need to target certain players. The first player we need to target is Cameron Green. I have 3 solid reasons. First reason is kind of an illogical or say an emotional reason. I'll tell that first. That is Aussie blood. It's been already 5 years since we had a proper Aussie blood in the team. The last Aussie that played was Josh Hazelwood. Now we have Nathan Ellis, but then he's not played much in the past. So Cameron Green along with Nathan Ellis will give that proper Aussie vibes. And right, Aussies are perennial winners. They're serial winners. Second logical reasoning, I would want someone like a Cameron Green to pair up with Shivam Dube and Dewald Brevis in the middle overs. They need to compensate. If there is a right hand or left hand combination, you can have Dube and Cameron Green belting the spinners. Either of them should stay there at the end, or either of the 3, Brevis, Green and Shivam Dube, at least one person of them, they need to stay with MS at the end to finish it off. He should either attack bank or give the strike to whoever out of the three I mentioned are there at the non-striker. Third reason, very important reason, is Cameron Green is an all-rounder. Again, I'm going to give you the comparison with Alvin Morkel, Sam Curran, Dwayne Bravo, Ravindra Jadeja. Bowlers who can bat or batters who can bowl. They are going to give you those crucial middle overs. If the power play is not going accordingly, bring in Cameron Green. If the spinners are getting belted, bring in Cameron Green. If there is one over that needs to be bowled in the death and some of your bowler is having a niggle, or if you want a certain change of pace, if you feel that batsman is struggling against lack of pace, or if the pitch is slow, Cameron Green can bowl all his quota of 4 overs, but minimum 2-3 overs can be extracted out of him, and that is a very important and crucial aspect. So I am putting all my money for Cameron Green because right now the record is with 28 or 27 with Rishabh Pant, I guess, LSG. So I'm I'm quite sure that Cameron Green will break all the existing auction records. He is going to go for 30 crores, and if CSK are hell-bent on going for 30 crores, they're going to go for him because KKR, having a superior purse, have 6 or 7 slots to be filled, while we have just 2 slots. One main slot, that is the Cameron Green slot. We can go all out and buy him for 32 crores. It all depends about how the auction dynamics work. Now, what if it's not Cameron Green? I would say Venkatesh Iyer, almost a Desi replacement. I wouldn't say he's the exact replacement. There are differences in skill set, but you can extract 1 or 2 overs from Venkatesh Iyer. At the same time, he can also play in the middle order. He's a good spin hitter and he has no weakness against the short ball. He enjoys belting the short balls. So he can also be used as a floater in the middle order. Like if there's a couple of wickets that have gone early, you can hold back Brevis, you can hold back Shivam Dube, you can send in Venkatesh Iyer. Also the left and right hand combination, because there's no Sir Jadeja, there's no Sam Curran, there's no Rachin Ravindra, no Devon Conway. So Shivam Dube is the lone standing left-hander in this lineup. So you can bring in Venkatesh Iyer, you can have fun with that left and right hand combination accordingly. But then again, he's not the leg-to-leg replacement of Cameron Green, but can do at least 70 to 80% what Cameron Green has been doing. Now, Cameron Green and Venkatesh Iyer might be huge buys. I would say we could also try for Bracewell. He is someone who doesn't fit into this team directly. He is an aura buy for Stephen Fleming because Stephen Fleming finds aura in Kiwis. He's a Kiwi lover. He's a Kiwi himself, of course. So for him, Bracewell will be looking like something like a peak Chris Gayle. I'm not complaining again. So he's going to be a stars buy for Fleming. So he would be the like-to-like replacement for Noor Ahmed in case if Noor has a niggle, or in case if you feel that there is a combination that needs to be changed. He's not a like-to-like replacement of Noor, but just in case if something happens. So we can't trust him as a finisher as yet, but he's definitely a very free-flowing batter. He does have his own shortcomings against a lot of balls, a lot of areas needs to be addressed, but he definitely has the good company with Stephen Fleming and Mike Hussey, maybe the new batting coach Suresh Raina. We don't know, the official announcement hasn't come. So all the lefties out there, all the southpaws out there, this guy can come good. So along with these three, the other pick which I am kind of targeting, or which I feel might happen, I'm not sure, is Jason Holder. So Jason Holder historically was a CSK player in 2013. Right now, I don't think he's at his prime, but he's not a bad option again. He's someone whom we have known, and he still has that ability to give that surprise performances. Can't expect consistency. A surprise all-round performances. He can come and hit a few sixes at the end. Now, this is again plan B. I'm talking about not plan E. He's not going to be the plan A, but in case if there's some auction dynamics, some wrong things happen, we can still try Jason Holder because he's also that all-rounder. Along with this, the other thing that we want to focus on is trying to bring a finger spinner, another quality spinner to coordinate with Noor Ahmed. Choice would be to bowl Shreyas Gopal. I have a lot of trust on him. I remember watching him in Chinnaswamy Stadium. I usually go to Chinnaswamy Stadium to watch all the domestic games, Karnataka games. So Shreyas Gopal is a proven talent in domestic cricket. So I would feel that he'll be the perfect guy to pair up with Noor Ahmed. But in case if you guys want to go for someone who is as lethal as Noor, I feel that Ravi Bishnoi could be donning yellow. If at all the other teams don't go hard for him, assuming Sunrisers might try to, even Lucknow Super Giants, they might try to buy him back, we never know. But I personally feel that Ravi Bishnoi is going to come to yellow. So a prediction from my side, but I may be wrong as well. So along with these things, the most emotional thing was Pathirana being let off. Again, we all took it for granted that we thought he was going to be the major player in CSK in the coming seasons, but unfortunately his bowling action was deteriorated. Now that the same fizz or the same fire what he had in him is completely diluted. And the reason why the let go of Pathirana is his inability to bowl in the power plays. His his inability to bowl within the first 6 to 9 overs. I feel Nathan Ellis will be a customary in the playing 11. He's going to play as many games as possible. So buying back Pathirana is mostly going to be an emotional one. We might want him to buy back or groom him, but I don't think that it's advisable to have him in the playing 11 as yet, with his action being not as lethal as before. So my picks in the auction, priority picks will be Cameron Green, because Cameron Green can even open if required. I'm not going to tinker the top 3, but in case, just in case, if they want Ayush to open with Cameron Green, that's also fine. If not Cameron Green, go for Venkatesh Iyer. If not Venkatesh Iyer, go for Jason Holder. If you don't get him, either Jason or Bracewell. In the spinners, you can go for Ravi Bishnoi. Also try to buy back Pathirana if needed. So these 6 picks would be my ideal popular choices. I'm not going to say we are going to buy all of them, but at least 2 or 3 from these 6 picks will help us have a better league than what we had last time, or we can even win the trophy as well. So, having spoken about every other aspect, I would like to tell my fans all across India, not just Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, Hindi, across regions, let's remember one thing. It's not like we are new to winning trophies. It's not like we are new to losing games. We have seen it all. We have even seen our team not being part of a couple of seasons. So, there's actually nothing bad that can happen beyond what has already happened. There's nothing good that can happen beyond what all has happened. So, the rich history and painful losses are there in tandem. So going forward, let's focus on enjoying watching our match, because all these days, especially in the last season, whenever there's a match day, especially on Sundays, when there's a match day on Sundays or weekends, we were not even interested to watch the match. Keep enjoyment aside, we were not even waking up with enthusiasm. We were like, oh, why is there a match today? That is the kind of pain that we had to go through because we never had the weapons for today's battlefield. I'm not disrespecting any of the cricketers who played the last season, including the great man. All of us were in too much of emotional imbalance. Now, this season, we don't have to do that. We don't have to skip match days. We don't have to skip certain batters batting. We don't have to be like, okay, what is going to happen today? Today, Deepak Hooda is going to come in at number 3 and face Josh Hazlewood. Today, Rahul Tripathi is going to dance in as an opener, or today, Vijay Shankar has to be a finisher. No. We have a proper team. We have built a strong core. We cannot win every game. Of course, nobody can win every game. We cannot guarantee that we are going to win the trophy, but we can expect a lot of quality entertainment, which was missing, that vintage Chennai Super Kings, that quality entertainment that was missing. Now we can watch the games with our head held high. We don't have to feel embarrassed of our team contributing to the environment. We have contributed to the environment quite a lot in the last season. We need to come out of contributing to the environment, and we have to start contributing to the entertainment. So environment, entertainment, there's going to be a massive shift, and I'm looking forward for that. So having said all these things, as fans of MS Dhoni, first we need to make sure that we don't behave like hooligans in the stadium. We don't say we want Dhoni. No, we have seen a lot of him. We'll get to see him even more. He's coming to play another season for us, but let's behave like devotees going to a temple and taking prasadam. We don't go to a temple and say, oh, hey, come give me a buffet. It's not a marriage, okay? It's not a hotel or restaurant. Okay, come MS, come open the innings, or MS come and bat just because you have to bat. No, start treating every CSK player as MS Dhoni. Let's start seeing each and every individual. Let's start respecting each and every individual's hunger to score runs. We have a lot of good individuals. We have Ayush Mhatre, Urvil Patel, Shivam Dubey, Ruturaj, Sanju, and of course Dewald Brevis. So each one of them wants to win the trophy because our trophy hungry fandom is feeling that heat. We haven't touched the trophies almost 3 years. We need it. So if MS comes out to bat, as I gave you the example, it's like temple prasadam. We take whatever is there. So whatever MS gives, whether it's a stumping, whether it's a catch, whether it's a 6 or a great performance like what he threw in Ekana Stadium last year, something like that, we accept it and we're happy with it. We don't show any kind of expectations, and we are not going to be that toxic fandom which irritates our own players. Jadeja was definitely irritated once, and he also later on started feeling, okay, fine, these guys won't change, or that kind of a mindset. I don't want anyone to face such things. Every player deserves applause. Each and every player in the Chennai Super Kings is equal to MSD. Remember this. And that's what I wanted to tell. And hopefully a great auction, and hopefully a great season, and hopefully... Thank you.